Hi, this is Russell Smith, retired police chief and author of One Policeman's Lights and Siren. The book is full of a collection of short stories about cases and events that touched my heart during my early police career. There's the probably the funniest story that I've ever written in my life, a true event, is in this book. It's a short piece, and I can't tell you about it because if I tell you about it at all, it ruins the whole thing. But last summer, a woman ran up to my booth and grabbed that book and said, "That story is the funniest thing I've ever read in my life." So there is that. The last story, Rick Smith, from a writer from the San Angelo Standard Times, wrote, "If it doesn't bring a tear to your eye and touch your heart, the last story, then nothing will." But that's not where we're going to go today. Early on, I became a reserve deputy, and in the book, you learn that I didn't plan on being a policeman, and you learn why. But I'm going to tell you that sheets of heavy rain were falling so fast I could hardly see. Even with bright headlights and the windshield wipers on high, my vision was greatly hindered as I drove onto this narrow bridge. Suddenly I swerved to miss a man in the roadway right in front of my patrol car. Yes, this bridge on Farm to Market Road 2288, where the North Concho River crosses just north of San Angelo, will forever be a part of my life. I think about this event every time that I cross there, and I detail what happened in this book. I also tell, and this is early on because there's just a short piece about being a reserve deputy, but I tell about things that happened as a reserve deputy, but I also tell about how the reserve deputy force was dissolved and move on into the other part of my career. Police work, a lot of it is really boring, but during the boring portion, you meet a lot of people. Uh, and meeting the lady that ran this store caused me to get involved in a case here that ultimately will forever impact my life. I remember even to this day everything that happened on a given night about midnight one night, and I detail it in this book. Now, rather than go into some of the cases, I'm just going to read you one of the stories, and this one is the honking horn. 128, complainant reports a car horn keeping them awake in the area of Glenna and Nottingham. They don't want to talk. It was nearly 3 a.m. I stopped in the parking lot of the convenience store at Arden and Glenna. I cut the engine and got out. After a few minutes, I heard a car horn blast several times not too far away. It stopped for just a second and then did it again. A yellow Cadillac was parked on Glenna just a block away from Arden Road. It was facing a large apartment complex with buildings on both sides of the street. As I drove toward it with my window down, I could hear the noise again and again. I didn't recognize the car, but did know the cowboy behind the wheel. "What's going on?" I asked. "Just waiting for my girlfriend," the man said as he tilted his head to the side so his straw hat would clear as he got out. I asked him to do several field sobriety tests because I could smell alcohol on his breath. He rolled up his long sleeves before he walked the straight line, stood on one leg, and touched his nose. "You passed the test," I said, and he responded with, I'm just honking the horn to let my new girlfriend know that I'm outside. But why don't you just go to the door to get her? I asked. He smiled, nodded toward a pretty little blonde who was running toward us, and sarcastically said, I don't think her husband would like it very much. One Policeman's Lights and Siren is available at Amazon.com and on Kindle. And in San Angelo, where I live, the Cactus Bookshop, Eggemeyer's General Store, Hastings Music and Books, and Field and Stream Sporting Goods. Joe Gibson is a retired police chief, and he's the author of Old Angelo. He wrote, Chief Smith's memories give us a rare look at the inside of an officer's experience and what it means. Lights and Siren shares the experience of a young officer that lasts a lifetime. And then he wrote, well done. Maybe you'd enjoy it too.